This here is an introduction to PowerPoint. And go ahead and open up PowerPoint and be part of the Microsoft Office 365 suite that we have. And PowerPoint is a slideshow program, which means it's for putting together what's called slides. And you can put text, photos, graphics, video clips, and other things on the slides, and then set it up so you can play it, usually through a projector, sometimes on a screen. If you don't see this screen right here, you can click around. There's several options here. You eventually get to this screen. Right now, this is a little bit off over here on the left. You can't see the file menu, but you can go to New from Template, and they'll bring you right to where I am right here. For our first PowerPoint, we're going to make a PowerPoint about creating good presentations, and there's a handout you can get for the content that's going to go onto the slides. So I don't want you to pick a blank presentation, but pick one of the pre-made templates. I don't care which one, any of them will be fine. You can scroll through here. You can try a couple different ones out. Just for the sake of simplicity here, I'll go ahead and click Gallery. It looks like an art gallery. So this is opening up here, and it's I'm going to make this screen here a little smaller so it fits in here. Okay, into our area. So you can adjust obviously your view here, and a lot of the menus you're going to recognize from Microsoft Word, because as much as they can, they have menus and features that are the same as in Word. So you got your home toolbar with your most common used features. You got Insert, which you should be familiar with from Word. It's not identical, but it has a lot of the same things on it, like insert pictures and tables and word art and so on. I'm not going to go through all these right now, but we got all these various toolbars here. And of course you got menus up here, which include Insert, Format, Arrange, Tools, and so forth. And Slideshow, which we'll come to later. Okay, for the first one, the first slide that opens up, you can see them line up here over on the left in the timeline, and then you see the one you're going to edit right here. That's going to be a title slide. No matter which template you picked, it's going to have a title slide. The title slide will have a main area right there, and if you look on your sheet, you're supposed to put what's at the top, which is Create Good Presentations. So we'll put Create Good Presentations. Now, if you're saying, hey, I didn't put the caps lock on, why is it all in caps? That's because the pre-made design has pre-made features, and that includes sometimes the text is only in capitals. Now, even though this is the pre-made color, size, design, you can highlight this. You can go back to the home toolbar. You can change the font if for some reason you wanted to. You can make it bold if you wanted to. You could change the color if you wanted to, just like we've done in the past. In Microsoft Word, so you have a lot of options here. And what I like to do when I want to adjust size, rather than go simply to the points, I go next to here where you got the increase and decrease font. So you highlight your text, and you can click and make it bigger, see what it looks like. And if it's too big, you can click and make it smaller, which is really nice. And I use that a lot, especially in PowerPoint. Down below here, click to add subtitle. Just put by and put your name. Okay, it's easy enough. And again, you can edit that if you wanted to. All these text boxes are editable. They can be resized, moved around. Other text boxes could be added. You know, everything it can be changed. But for right now, we're just learning the basics, so we'll just leave pretty much our pre-made design, except I do want you to change the color and make it bold. Okay, so that we get we got to cover some other features too. Now up here, we have new slide right here. And if you just click on it, it'll do the default slide. But before we do that, there's a little pull-down menu here, and these are pre-made layouts. The default slide after the title slide is always going to be the second one, which is title and content. That's the most common used slide in PowerPoint, probably. There's other various types of layouts I'm not going to go into right now, and there's even a blank option. And you could, if you do the blank, you can bring in your own text boxes, pictures, graphics, tables, whatever you want. Okay, and there's options to duplicate slides. If you're going to make another slide that's similar, you can duplicate. You can reuse slides if for some reason you want to reuse ones or take ones from other presentations. There's lots of options here. I'm going to click on the second one over, which is the same as if I just click the new slide button. It brings up for a title up here and a bulleted list here. So for the title up here, if you look on your sheets, start with number 1. I want you to actually put in number 1 and then put show real interest in your topic. Okay, and again, this is all editable. You can make the, now I start clicking on here, other things pop up for formatting. I'm going to close that out. You could resize this text box a little bit if you wanted to. You can move it around. You can click on the border. Looks like that doesn't really want me to move it. I'll just leave it. This looks fine. I can add that later. Now this is all editable, so I'm not going to review that again. Now you click down here for the first bulleted item and put be full of energy. And then hit return. It already creates the next bullet, so put share why you're giving this presentation. Now you notice here it's, at least on mine, yours might be different on your template, but on mine it's just putting it in the way I type it. Typically I just capitalize the first letter and leave the rest mostly lowercase unless it's a proper noun. Now I'm going to hit return here and put get and keep their attention. Okay, and again, this here may be a bit small, so go ahead and highlight. You just drag across here, and there it goes. And I usually didn't go back to home, go next to the font size, and just experiment with this. Do I want it that big, this big? Now we're going to want to put a picture or graphic on each slide, so we don't want it too big, but maybe a little bit bigger. And the other thing is we're going to have some space over here for our picture, so we can resize our text box, something like that. Now it'll wrap, you know, to fit in here, and that'll open up space over here for our picture. Also, this entire box is movable, so if you need to move it around a little bit, you can do that. But that looks pretty good for now. Now to bring in a picture, in this case we want something that goes with the slide. We want someone showing interest. Now you could literally, I'm going to open up Google Chrome, but open up a web browser, go to Google. Now you could start with what the title is, show real interest in your topic. Put show real interest in your topic. Just see what you get. Sometimes it works good, sometimes not so much. I have to fix a typo here. And then I'm going to click on images. And as it turns out, I'm getting a bunch of stuff that doesn't really look that good. So just use common sense at this point. What kind of pictures might you want? So maybe just have a picture of person who is excited. Okay. Now, I already had done this one in class tutorial. And you get all these pictures of people that look excited. Now, you might say that looks a little overkill for someone just, you know, knowing their topic or having interest in their topic. But sometime to make a point, you put a picture that might be a little over the top, maybe has a little humor in it, makes your presentation more interesting. So any of these here that you can see here would be fine. I'll go ahead and just for something different, I will click on this kid, looks kind of funny, and I will click on it first to get to here. You don't want to download from here because you might get a thumbnail, which would be a low resolution, low quality version of the picture. So then here you'll get your better version. Do a right click, do a save image as. You could save it to OneDrive, but if you are on, say, your classroom Mac and you just want to save it to a local computer, you can do that. So I'm just going to, I'm actually at home making this tutorial, so I'm just going to go to the desktop on my Mac here. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm just going to name it images. And I'm going to use that for, because we're going to be doing at least one image for every slide. So I'll hit create. And right now it's got a really weird name. Doesn't really make much sense. Now come up with a common sense name for it. If you want to put happy kid, if you want to put slide 1 because it's going to go on slide 1, something like that. I'm just going to go with the very simple slide 1. Now this happens to be a Google Web P. That's not good. So if I hit save, it'll save it, but from my experience already in tutorial, I cannot use that. So I will have to go to another one. I'll save you the time of me trying to insert it and have it not work. Okay, so we'll go to this lady here, and I'll download hers. Go to Save Image As. That's also a Google WebP. That's not good, so I'm going to cancel that. So I'm going to go to this guy here, and I'm going to do a Save Image As. It's a PNG. PNGs are fine, so are JPEGs. So I'll call this one Slide 1. Now you might say, well, won't that... Let's see, I'll call it Slide 1 Pic. I'll put it in my images. That's where it defaulted to. I'm going to minimize this here. Now, you don't want to click your cursor in here, because if you do, when you insert an image, you'll try to stick it in the middle of your text box or your stuff. So deselect, but have the slide open you want to insert to. Go up here to Insert menu, or you can do this to Picture and then Picture from File, or you can go on the toolbar, go to Insert, go to Pictures, and Picture from File. Okay, then in my case, mine is on the desktop, and it's in the Images folder, and I want the one that it's surprisingly it's showing that, but I don't think that'll work. So I'm going to go to this one here, and I'm going to insert it, so it comes in there. Sometimes they come in big, sometimes a bit smaller. Now I could fit it there, but it'd be a little bit small, and there's a lot of wasted room here. Now one nice thing, as you may remember from Microsoft Word, there are tools that we could edit this in our program. So if I double click here, actually I didn't even need to do that. I can close this out. I already got the picture format menu up here. So what I need is a crop tool, which is right here. I'm just going to click on it. It changes this to crop handles. I'm just going to drag that in a bit right there, drag it in a bit right there. That looks a bit better. I'm going to deselect. Now I could resize this here, make it a little bigger so you can see it better. And that looks a lot better. Of course, there's a lot of other here features. If I click on this, I could add borders and shadows and all kind of things to it. I can edit the picture, make it brighter. We covered that in Microsoft Word, so I'm not going to cover that again in here. But you could do all that. So this is a good basic looking slide. So you're going to be doing, for this first project, pretty much all of your slides like this. I'm going to go on to the next one. Notice I'm just clicking New Slide. Just click the button. Use this default layout. This one here is number 2. Know your topic. Okay. And then you click here and you put Know your topic well. Now we're also learning about making good presentations, so these are all really good tips for that. Now the second bullet item under number 2 has actually 2 things accidentally together. So for the second bullet, just type the first part called Include Your Sources of Information. Then when you see that little, I just did a right click on there to fix the spelling. Then when you see that little symbol in there, that was a typo. That's the point. You just hit return, and then after that little symbol, put that this is your next bulleted item. Anticipate or share questions. So do anticipate or share questions. Okay, and then I'm going to get one more bullet item on here, which is write a script. Okay, and again, just like we did before, you can highlight all this here. I usually use this here to see how big I want it, maybe somewhere around there. Resize your text box. You can move this around if need be. Go find an image. This one here, know your topic. Now, sometimes it could just be a person that looks like they're thinking or whatever. I'm going to do a research picture. Just look like someone's researching. So I'll put person doing research. Okay. And it has a bunch of people here, mostly sitting at computers or books, doing some type of research. So I'm going to look around here. I got this guy here doing some research, so I'm going to click on this picture here. I'm going to do a right click, do a Save Image As. Hopefully it's something usable. It's a JPEG, looks great. This is going to be on slide 2, so I may as well just call it slide 2 pic. Easy enough to remember. It's already defaulting to my images folder. Easy place to put it and find it. I'm going to minimize this, make sure I'm not clicked into any of these text boxes. I'm going to go to Insert, Pictures, Picture from File. There's my slide 2 pic. Hit Insert. This one I just got to resize a bit, and that looks pretty good right there. Okay, so at this point we're just going over the basics. When we get to the very end, the last slide, regular slide 11, the sentence is cut off, so in class we'll finish that sentence, figure out what that should be, or make something up. And then the very last slide after that, we'll just make it the end slide. Now that doesn't have to have this layout because there's not going to be bullets on it. You can just make one that's a title only, which is an option up here. Or you can do a blank one and bring in your own text box and that. So you have a number, or even word art, and you have some options there. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, in the timeline, let's say you made these out of order by accident. You can click here and drag, put them in a different order, or if you decide, whoops, that's not the way I wanted it, you can, move them around however you like. Okay, so that's a nice feature there. You got, like I said, a lot of the skills you need we already covered in Microsoft Word. You can look around here. Later we'll be doing if you want to play, you might say, well, how do I play my slideshow? Okay, right now I happen to be clicked on the third slide. There's only 3 slides here. Go up to the slideshow menu, do a play from start, and then it'll bring up full screen. Now my selection here isn't my entire screen, so that's why it's blocked off a little bit. And I'll just hit return here. I have mine blown up. Normally you'd see the whole thing. And then I go to here and I click one more time, and then I'm back. So that's under slideshow, and then they also have it under tools. If you look around here, they have a slideshow toolbar. You can click here, play from start. You can hit play from current slide. If you got 20 slides, you just want to play, say, from slides 5 and on, you can click on slide 5 and go on. We're not going to do timings in this tutorial. We'll cover that later. You can set up timings. It's also up here. And you can have it so it runs automatically. Also, you can't see it on here, nor can I demonstrate it from home. But at school, when I have my PowerPoint plugged into a projector and I play it, my screen has more than just my slide on it. I can see the next slide coming up. I can see the slides in general if I want to click around. So it gives you a presenter's view that I can't demonstrate in this tutorial. You can also record voiceovers and add in all kind of features onto the slides, but for right now we're just focusing on the basics. So I think this was an introduction that should help. So yeah, this first handout you're doing, there's 11 regular slides, a title slide at the beginning and one at the end, so that'd be 13 slides. So and put a picture or graphic on each one that goes with it. When I say graphic, it could be like a clip art or something like that works. And also put something on your title slide for giving presentations. Look up someone giving a presentation. And at the end, you can just find maybe some little funny picture or something to put at the end, like it's finished or something. So good luck. This isn't too hard. The next one we're going to do is going to be a personal presentation. That'll be quite a different project. So go ahead and good luck.